My name is Gail and I'm the host of Random Life Productions. Today I wanted to talk about EF adapters which adapt your EF Canon lenses to your mirrorless camera, so you're able to take pictures with EF lenses using your mirrorless cameras, which are your Canon M50, your Canon M6, your Canon M6 Mark II, your Canon M100 and whatever other mirrorless cameras Canon want to bring up apart from your full frame mirrorless cameras. So there are two that I have. I have the Canon one, which is this one. This basically doesn't have any glass in it. And I also have the Viltrox one, which is currently on my camera. Now what that speed booster is doing is giving me a wider field of view and also taking this 24-70 f4 lens and making it a f2.8 lens. And also this 24-70 is a full frame lens, and because it's on my camera using the Viltrox adapter, this becomes a 30mm lens to about an 80mm lens, so the crop is basically almost identical. If you use this, on the other hand, your camera will be at f4 and basically it will have more of a crop. So your 24, which is this, will be narrowed in. So the 24 will become a 40 and your 70 will probably become closer to 100. Now, what's the difference between that speed booster and this mount? The difference is obviously there's no glass in here. Also, if you have any of the EFS lenses, which are normally for your DSLRs like your 80 and 90D, you can use the Canon adapter, which is making a heck of a noise, but it will adapt. Okay. If you have any 24mm lenses or the Canon 10-18 lens, which is our EFS lenses, you can mount them onto this Canon adapter. You can't do that with the Viltrox adapter at all. And also, because this adapter has a hole in it, if you were using vintage lenses, you can put an M42 on there, put the lens straight on it, and it works. Some of the vintage lenses that I use have a little bit of metal coming out of the bottom. If you put that on a speed booster, it may not work, which means you'll have to have one and you have to put that on your camera. So it gives you a much bigger footprint. So that's why if I'm vintage shooting, I will use the Canon this adapter, the Canon EF to M lens adapter, because I think it's a better adapter for that. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change this speed booster for this adapter and tell me if you notice a difference in the field of view. I am going to leave it on the settings I have now, the AV settings. What might happen is the camera may automatically put up the ISO because I'm in autofocus, because there's less light coming in. So let's see what happens when I put this onto this. So as you can see with this lens, I'm all cropped in, but there is a connector on here. There's a micro USB connector in here. So I'm sure if you connect this to your computer and you go to the Viltrox page, you'll be able to update the software, which is very, very clever stuff actually, that you can update software in a lens adapter. Now, there are cheaper options out there for lens adapters that change your Canon EF to adapt to mirrorless cameras, and those are basically the Viltrox has one and a couple of other ones have them for half the price. The Viltrox one is not as well built as the Canon because all behind here is plastic elements. And if you're using a speed booster, because of the glass in here, it might degrade the image a bit. It's not that much, but it does slightly degrade the image. People might argue that that's not the case, but I would disagree, because if you put this on and then you put your lens on and then you put another element of glass, you have two bits of glass that aren't native to the camera that are getting in the way. But all in all, I think the Viltrox is a very good a little bit of kit, as is the Canon EF glass. If I had a favourite, it would be the Canon one. However, because I've got both, I love both, and it gives me two focal lengths. Basically, if I'm using the Viltrox, I've got a 30 to 80, and if I'm using the Canon, I get a 40 to 100. So it's brilliant. It's like I've got 4 different lenses with me by taking these 2 lens adapters. If weather gets better, I'm going to take this lens, the camera, these 2 adapters, and I'm going to do an outside comparison video, and you can let me know what you think. So all I can say to you today is thank you very much for watching. I hope this helped to explain the difference between the adapters. If you liked it, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. If you have any questions in relation to it, let me know. And as always, thank you ever so much for watching, and I will see you in another video. Take